Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Life of Kaiser. And I know I missed last week. It's surprisingly tough to film this once a week because trying to find a time to when it works or if anything is even worth it, right? Because sometimes it doesn't even matter because nothing really happened, which I think is also vital to tell people. It's like, nothing really happened. We just enjoyed stuff and sat around and watched Netflix and all that kind of good stuff. But last week just went, stuff happened really, really fast, and then it was over. So, but I wanted to make sure I got one out this week because we are officially in the road to 1 million subscribers for YouTube, and excuse me. And we started yesterday, and it wasn't really a big hoo-ha push, but I started yesterday, and I started doing posts on Instagram to really booster the idea that stuff is happening, and then we're just gonna keep pushing. And I'm really hoping that the push with Kickstarter is gonna really help, and then just constantly putting up shorts and just all kinds of new content. I'm going to put up Real Talk, which is coming along nicely. I had to find some stuff to edit that the right way, but the first one's coming out. It's going to be with Sarah Meyer. It's a nice little interview, I think. So I hope that you guys are ready for that. But we're just really trying to figure out what to do with this process, right? And I really think that I have to start thinking about the idea. I had something called building a brand, and I wanted to do stuff with that and kind of talk about my journey with Ninja Empire, which I think would be something separate from this, right? This is an all-encompassing thing. I'll talk about everything, but that I wanted to be focused on Ninja Empire and kind of talk about the process that I went through or trying to create things. And I think I have a couple of episodes, at least content available to be like, hey, this is where we're going, this is how it started, this is what's going on. And so I think that'll be another thing that I want to put on the channel. And so I think that would be a good 4 things. So Life of Kaiser, Is It Worth It, Real Talk, and then building a brand. And then any kind of art stuff that I just kind of randomly do will also be on it. But I think those would be the 4 big ones, and then every now and then I might throw something in there that would be cool. But I think that's going to be my 4 mainstays, are those things, and I think that would be enough. It might be too much, especially since it's not my full-time job, but I think that maybe even staggering the oh my goodness, the building a brand and the Real Talk. So it's every other week. So 1 week you get Real Talk, 1 week you get this. That'll help me out until I can actually get enough content together to warrant it being every single day. But we'll see. I'm very interested in being able to really give you guys some really cool content, and really have been thinking about what it is I want from this channel. And one of the big things, and I know I've said it before, but one of the big things is I want to do education. I do, but I want to do education my way. So if you're looking for a tutorial, there's hundreds of thousands of people who are doing tutorials. I recommend you going to check them out because they have the time and the enthusiasm to do tutorials. I do tutorials every single day of my job, and I don't want to come home and have to then continue my job on camera. So I'm leaving those kind of tutorials to other people, and I'm going to come in and I'm really going to try and do things like Real Talk, which is an interview with people that asks questions that may not necessarily be the standard questions that people ask in interviews, right? So, and it's to help people understand about the art. They want to go into comics, we'll start talking a little bit about the industry of comics, or the business of comics, or the business of voice acting. I plan on hitting up some voice actors in the next couple of conventions that I'm going to. So I want to I'm going to try and hit all industries of entertainment just so that there's something for people. Like that's really important to me. But yeah, like I said, this channel is definitely going to be a variety channel. So for those of you who are coming in, thank you very much. For those of you who've been here, thank you very much. But there should be a little something that will pique everyone's interest, right? So hopefully you will continue to support me and join me on that ride, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, now, man, my nose is itching. So let's see, I have, what's happening? I just got, for those of you who know, or may not know, so this is, I mean, it doesn't say anything on there, but I'll be doing a project with DCD Collects. It's pretty sweet, if I do say so myself. I actually get to start working on it, and it's going to be, it's not necessarily a rush job, but I guess that's the term, is going to be rush job, because I have approximately 1 week to finish like 50 cards. But I think that'll be, I think it's doable. Just gonna have to sit down and do it, which is normally the hard part, because normally I'll procrastinate, but I do have a deadline. So I'm really ready for that deadline. So we're gonna be doing that. That's gonna be fun here over the next couple days, and there'll be all kinds of content for that, because I will be drawing those. If you have not been following my streams, and I haven't been able to take it apart and start doing like little shorts and stuff, but I will. But if you haven't been following my streams, I've actually started on a new venture, and that is to do watercolor. And so, I don't know, but anyway, starting to do watercolor, and some of them were good, right? Some of them were good, some of them were not so good. Flip this one over, and my pages came out, so I'm just keeping them in the book, right? Like I said, some of them were not so good, like this one's not so good, that one's not so good, I don't like that one, but I think this one came out nice. And then just yesterday I was working on these two, and I think that just over the past six images, I've already gotten like a lot better. I'm starting to understand what's happening with the paint and how I can manipulate it, which is great. I've been watching tutorials, been listening to other painters who've come in and told me stuff. So I'm very happy with the progress that I'm making with that, and hopefully we'll be getting watercolor covers soon. Like that's my goal with this, is to be confident enough to do watercolor covers, and that would just make my day. 100% that would make my day. Let's see what happened. We went to the DC Planner Journal Con, which was an interesting convention. A lot of high energy, a lot of fun like this. And it was different, right? Like there are a couple artists there, which was cool, and I got to reconnect with some people, which was nice. Some people that I haven't seen for a couple years. They were at this convention, which I didn't think many artists was going to be there. I thought it was going to be me and this other person that I know, but there were a couple of artists there, which was cool. And I got to reconnect with him. And then I saw, I saw some other people that I knew, which was great. And I got to sell some of my planners, which was fun. It was different. It was a different show, but I got some fantastic swag that I'm so eager to test out, and we might even be doing like shorts with some of these, because it's really, there's not really much that you need to go over, but we might be doing shorts to test things out and be like, oh, look at this is really cool, look at what you can do. So is it worth it shorts? We might be trying that soon, but there was some great stuff. Really looking forward to it. I actually have to contact Edding and see if they'll give me some new stuff, because I'm gonna try and do some representation of it. So I'll be sending them a message, because the representative that was there said that they would send my name forward, and then that way we could hopefully work together, and then you'll see some more Edding reviews, which would be a lot of fun. What else? Oh, the big thing for this month, outside of my birthday, which, by the way, birthday month, let's go. That's right, is my birthday month. And I am releasing the Kickstarter this month as a, another kind of push to the IP, push to the 1 million subscribers to see if that's even possible. And so I am trying to do this Kickstarter for Ninja Empire because we're almost done. I'm lettering these pages and it is taking way longer than I thought. I can be honest, I don't think I've ever actually lettered a comic outside of traditional lettering, so doing it on the computer has been interesting, and there's far too many options. Like grabbing fonts and trying to make, so there's a lot that goes into it, and I think this was like the one thing, like if the Kickstarter does really good, issue 1 I'm hiring a letterer because I don't want to do it. Because it just seems like it would be easier to have someone who knows what they're doing and takes joy in that. Someone who's really into layout, graphic design, and stuff like that, they will be able to knock it out of the park. So here's hoping that we do really well there. And yeah, but Kickstarter coming out May 27th. That is the date that the Kickstarter will launch. There's a reason. That is my birthday. I'm going to release it on my birthday, as a push so that I can tell people, hey, birthday present, But so it is a marketing ploy to release it on my birthday, but it is coming. I'm putting the final touches on the actual layout, get everything ready. Hopefully that'll be done by next week. And then I can actually send anyone who's interested a link to go and check out the Kickstarter and see what kind of awesome stuff we have. We have 1, 2, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 alternate covers. We got 5 alternate covers, which is amazing. And and then I have 1 cover that's going to be unlocked if we hit the stretch goal for it, which is going to be a cover from Freddie Williams, who did Batman Ninja Turtles, He-Man Thundercats, did another crossover. I can't remember what the other crossover was, but he's the one who's doing all these crossovers. He worked on a ton of stuff, so I've already seen some of the prelims. It looks amazing, so very, very excited about that. And yeah, so hopefully this Kickstarter goes good, so then we can order books, get them to the bring them to the shows, and do all kinds of fun stuff. I'm hoping that it does really well because, to be honest, I kind of need it to do really well just for my own ego, right? Just need it to do well because it put a lot of work and effort into it, and it'd be nice to see that there was an interest for it so that we can move forward and continue and actually push on this brand. Like that's really what I'm hoping for. And I've been struggling, which is something I'll probably go into building a brand, but I've been struggling with how I want it to look. Like, what's the design that I want? And I have this retro style, which every time I look at it, I'm like, that's really cool, right? I like the way it looks. It looks really cool. This is going to be different. This is going to set me apart. This is different. But then I have the fully rendered version, and I'm like, this is really cool, right? It pops out. It's very Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? It just looks very animatable. It looks really cool. And then it's just like, which one do I do? And, every time, and this is the audience speaking, every single time, even when I'm not asking them what they think, they'll come into the stream and they'll be like, man, I really like that paper, like that tone paper thing really is working for your book. I really like this. I really like that. So I'm like, well, maybe it will just be these flat colors. And what's crazy is I don't know why I'm fighting it, because it's easier for me. It would be easier for me just to do that, because then it's a whole nother step that I don't have to do. But for some reason, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm not doing enough. So I've been struggling with that, but I think it seems like what people want is that toned paper. So, which brings me to another thing that I have to do before the 27th. I need to make a new cover, because the cover as it stands now is not at all. It doesn't look like the cover or the interiors of the book. So it's like, well, what are we supposed to, it's false, not necessarily, but I want the main cover to represent the inside of the book. right? The alternative covers and whatnot, that's different. We can make those look really cool and different and all that kind of stuff. But the main one, the one that everyone will get unless they order an alternate cover, has to represent what's on the inside. So that means I have to do a retro cover, and I have to figure that out here relatively shortly while I'm doing 50 cards for DCD. So there you go. There's the struggle, right? You get one thing, and you're like, all right, cool, this is going to be a great little job to do. And then it's like, wait, this thing that I'm doing on the side, my thing on the side, needs attention, and I want to do it, but I have to do this first because it's an obligation, right? So balancing that out has been always fun when it comes through. It's interesting. It's interesting. So, Free Comic Book Day on the 4th. I was supposed to have something happen, but it's not because they haven't contacted me. So my next convention is Tidewater Comic Con, and I haven't been to Tidewater in like 5-6 years. So I'm looking forward to going to Tidewater to see what it's going to be like. Every time I'm like, oh, I'm going to take the video and we're going to do this and that. And I don't know, I never leave my booth. So I'm going to try. I'm going to try again, get you a little video of what's happening and stuff like that. Little videos I can catch, but I don't know if I can put together like, hey, this is the convention thing like I thought I was going to do. So, but, you know, a little bit so you can see what it's like when I critique how it was and stuff like that. But yeah, so that May 18th and 19th, that is the next convention that I'm going to. Oh, that's not true. There's one on the 11th. It's a high school convention, which, you know, I'll bring way less stuff because I'm not trying to overpack things. Bring a whole lot fewer things just so that I can ensure that I don't overdo it, right? So, but yeah, I'm still gonna do a small show and then we'll do Tidewater. So hopefully something will happen, get some more people on my mailing list and stuff like that, so we can start doing some really cool stuff with this property, because I really want to do something with it. And now that the graphic novel is done, I gotta finish lettering it, then it'll be done. But now that it's done, you know, my next thing is, well, I've already started on issue 1, but like, do I start on issue 1? Or do I do the card game that I have in development, right? Like, do I finish that? Like, what should I do? And I'm thinking the card game would need attention, because if I do this card game, right, that gives me 2 products. I have the game and the comic, and if I finish that before the end of the year, if I finish the card game before the end of the year, then come back around to the beginning of the year, I can still produce issue 1, and hopefully before AwesomeCon, I can have issue 1, so I can get issue 0, issue 1, and the game all ready for AwesomeCon 2025. So I think that's going to be the goal, but we're going to finish these letters first, the lettering, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, that's about it. But I would like to say, if you have the opportunity to, or in a place to where you can help out, please go to my Patreon and support me there. There's some really cool stuff that you can get, and it's exclusive to the Patreon. It'd be really cool to have some support so that I know that this is what we're supposed to be doing and that I should continue on the effort that I'm working on. So if you are in a position to where you can help, please do. That would be awesome to see your support. And yeah, so if you're new to the channel, as always, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you get notified every time that I drop new content. Thank you all so very much. Thanks for all the support thus far. Thanks for growing with me. And if you have any comments, any concerns, anything, please drop me a line below, and I read every single one of them. I might not respond to them, but as of yet, I have responded to every single message that I've ever been given. And so I am listening. I'm out there. I heard you, because if you watched the recent episode of Is It Worth It, those Prismacolors were a request from one of you, the viewers, who was like, could you review the Prismacolor markers? And thus I pushed some other stuff out of the way just so that I could get it into rotation. So yeah, I look at your comments. I love to read them, love to know what you have to say. Please drop me a comment below. It would be absolutely amazing to hear from you. Thank you all so very much, and I will see you at the next episode.